it actually strikes us that actually there is that power to contribute in people is not recognized necessarily by organizations and by society. And even more important, people don't recognize their own power to contribute. That very often whole life passes without people realizing their power to contribute because they are in a way stuck. They are not stuck because of the organization. They are stuck because of their own minds. They are stuck because they feel I am stuck. I cannot bring about a change because nothing can change in my life. Everything is out of my control. So that state of mind which is there, which most people have, is one of actually not allowing them to explore new ways of applying their own human potential. So on one side we are talking about a society, we are talking about innovation, we are talking about transformation in our society, etc. But the most important engine for that transformation is actually the human being. And those engines are locked up, and they are locked up not because of anything outside. Actually, our society is already freeing up in so many ways. So that whole story that we had earlier, that industry was constrained, people were constrained, that there is, everything is all license raj, all that is over now. Everything has shifted in many, many parts and in many ways. But what is actually left is still the license raj inside the head, no? Because we are not giving ourselves license to act and giving ourselves license to contribute. This is what we are discovering in industry when we are going and talking to them. And now if you look at the program that we are trying to do, this contributive career program, the message is actually that. The message is, how do we create contributors? How do we bring about, if I use the word, mindset change? Not just change in the skills. Not that we have to teach people new things, but teach people how to see newly. It is not to give him new things, but probably in a way to empty his mind to see that, there is a possibility for so much more that is available with us. So it is none of the traditional rules of learning work. None of the traditional rules of teaching work. Normal teaching, what happens, you go into the class, there is already a reservoir, which is the student's mind. Into that we pour our buckets also. Now it is left to the students to mix up and keep more and more water in that bucket. But here we are saying the problem is not the amount of water in the bucket. The problem is in the pipelines which goes into the fields, which allows that it can irrigate the fields around. So it is the irrigation system that we are solving. We are not actually trying to add water to the reservoir. You see, there is a difference. So we cannot come in with drought mentality and say that I am going to store water. We have to come in with a irrigation mentality, which is a completely new way of thinking. So this is really the challenge before us if we want to bring about this mindset change. So there are two types of situations. One type of situation is that there are people who are saying, yes, I like these ideas, but I'm already doing so many things, or this is my time structure, etc. So let me just take these ideas, make it available to people. That is one possibility. And the other possibility that is there is you can say, no, I need to actually, let me go and do a deep transformation of my students and actually try to make sure that my institute is known for contributors. That means if industry looks at my institute, they say others produce engineers, but these people produce contributors also, besides being engineers. That means from that institute, when you take on people, something magical must happen, which is that they must come and work and make things effectively. As you are aware, in any organization, only 5 to 7% are contributors. The ratios may vary, but any senior leader you talk to in industry, he will put an estimate less than 10%. We have now talked to 15, 20 senior leaders, they all say the same thing. Why only 10%? Because most of the people follow the process, follow the rules, follow the instructions. What work has been given, they will do. But there are some people who get the job done, who know how to step out and make things happen in the organization. Yesterday when we were talking, the metaphor that we got was there is a tree, these are the people who are watering the tree. While most of the others are eating the fruits of the tree and once in a way they come pat the tree and go away. But they are not actually contributing necessarily always to the growth of the tree. Or at the most they might be supporting a few, pruning some leaves and branches. But some people are actually building the tree, who are actually making the tree grow. These are the contributors of that organization. And if you really look at it, if people are going to sit down and actually produce contributors, you can see that it can revolutionize industry. If in a company, the number of contributors go up from 5% to 10%, that company is transformed. It means it has doubled its effective workforce at no extra cost almost. And if you look at it from a college's point of view, if the college is actually able to sit down and is able to send out contributors, it does not even have to ask for placement. People will line up for getting placed because every company is looking for that only. They are not looking for anything else. They look for qualifications, etc. as a surrogate measure. But main thing they are looking for is, can you get the job done? After that, all these are extras to actually try to signals for that purpose. So the goal is creating contributors so that the institutions also get a deep satisfaction. The individual's life is transformed. And on the other side, our industry also transforms. So all the three stakeholders, the critical stakeholders. And in my view, government is also like industry a stakeholder because so much of our workforce goes into government, into schools, into government-owned institutions. So if they bring in a little contributor touch into their work, then you will find that things move. Like Swami Ranganathan many years back said that there is a file sitting in front of the person. He says file will take 3 weeks to move from one table to another. He says, no, the file doesn't take 3 weeks to move from one table to another. The man takes 3 weeks to move it from one place to another. So the file is dead, lifeless. It is the man who has decided not to move it, correct or no? So it is the man behind the file we have to change, not the files themselves. So everywhere it is that man behind the action who has to be changed. So that man, how to change, that is the real question that we are facing.